Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to talk about how you can actually get started into IT. That's where the big bucks are. This is one of the fields easy to get into. You can actually start to make money fast. It doesn't take years putting it out there because money is a big motivator for people to do things. I work in London, but I'm not in London now. I'm in India. I have built a life for myself where I can earn good and travel full time, what I always wanted to do. I've been traveling since 2012. I work way less. There was a period of like 2 years where I worked 1 month or less than hardly a month. Still was able to sustain my traveling lifestyle with the income that I make in a month because I'm a contractor. I have a freelance company. I'm not an employee anymore. I don't know, 11 years now, and I hardly work. I get 13K GBP. So that will be like 15 grand. You do the math, but that's tax excluded. I'm not a genius. I'm below average. I think it's time to share my knowledge. So I'm really bad at making these videos as well. So I'll be referring my notes on this computer. That's where I'm looking at. So we'll discuss the potential IT roles that you can get into. We'll go through engineering, web development roles, which is one of the easiest to get into. And also data roles, infrastructure roles. And also we'll discuss some of the non-engineering roles. I briefly worked as a project manager. Didn't like it, but I can talk about it. Even though we'll be discussing the non-engineering roles, I just have to preface it by saying that it's the engineering roles that pays you the big bucks, even at project manager, people department. The entry-level roles don't pay you as much. So my focus is more on the tech roles. So let's start. Developer roles. So these are the roles that require some sort of programming skills. Start with the hot in-demand ones. Obviously the web developers. When internet started, there used to be only static websites, which means that there's just web pages where you can just look at it and read, but there wasn't much user interaction with the website and the user. Google kind of popularized taking the desktop applications and putting that into browser-based applications like Gmail. And web developers make these web applications. Your banking application, the banking website, it has some interactivity. You can actually open a bank account within minutes. That's a web-based application. Or your mobile app interacts with a web backend. Web developers fall into three main categories: front-end developer, back-end developer, and full stack developers. Front-end developers are responsible for creating the visual elements of an application, the user interface. They usually have to know HTML, which is the language that is used to display the website, have to know JavaScript. It allows you to help interact with the browser, and also CSS for the look and feel, how it looks, the colors, spacing, the padding, the positioning, and all that stuff. Front-end developers usually need to know about the usability standards, cross-browser compatibilities. It's not just one browser that the website will be displayed in. And the second type of web developer is the backend developer. These guys are the ones who do the business logic at the backend. They usually need to have the understanding of one or more server-based languages like Python, PHP, C#, Java, and also some sort of interactivity with a persistent storage mechanism like a database. You have to have an understanding of the system as a whole. You need to think about scalability, writing code that is scalable, maintainable. So that's the backend developer. And there's another variety, full stack developers, who deal with both the front end and the backend. These guys are sort of a generalist. They don't specifically focus on front end or back end. Some companies prefer full stack developers because they can do both. They don't necessarily need to hire two people. That doesn't mean that they get paid less. They probably maybe even get a little bit more than the specific front end or back end engineers in startups, because it is still a good deal for the company to pay the one guy a little bit more than paying two. It's usually the trend that in bigger companies you have separate front end developers, back end developers, specialists. They go for the specialists. People know that specialists have deliver better quality. They are not really constrained by the money factor. This is why usually startups you have one person who is a CTO, lead developer, backend developer, full stack developer, the experienced designer. Full stack developers need to know about like HTML, CSS, the front end technologies, as well as the backend technologies like Node.js, Express.js, Python, all those backend server technologies as well. Now we have mobile developers. Mobile developers develop applications that run on mobiles. This include iOS applications and Android applications. They probably make apps for TVs and those kind of things, smart TVs, Android TVs, iPads. Obviously, you need to know about iOS technologies, Apple's programming language, which is called Swift or Objective-C. Swift is a much easier version of Objective-C. For Android applications on Samsung phones and on those phones, you can learn Java. Android is written in Java. Or Kotlin. What is Swift to Objective-C? Kotlin is to Java. There is cross-platform technologies as well, like React Native, which can be used to write mobile applications using JavaScript. So moving on from developer roles, we have infrastructure roles. We have DevOps engineers, DevOps is a software development approach that aims to improve the communication between the developers and operations team. The development portion and the operation portion combined together makes the DevOps. Reduce the communication gap. It streamlines the software development process using tools, CI/CD tools, continuous integration, continuous delivery tools. They are responsible for designing, deploying, and maintaining the tools and systems that are required to manage the software development lifecycle. To become a DevOps engineer, one should have a background in software development, system administration, or IT operations, scripting languages such as Python, Perl, or Shell, as well as familiarity with automation and configuration management tools such as Puppet, Chef, or Ansible. These tools are called infrastructure as code tools. Next up is data roles. Data roles in IT have become increasingly popular because of big data, the need to derive insights from it. Data roles encompass a wide range of positions, including data scientists, data analysts, data engineers, machine learning engineers. A data engineer is responsible for creating and maintaining the infrastructure. They create pipelines for data ingestion, storage, and retrieval, and ensure that it is available for access and use by data analysts and data scientists. Data engineers work with a variety of tools, including databases and big data frameworks. Typically, data engineers have knowledge of databases. They know SQL, good with one or more scripting languages like Python. They are usually familiar with Hadoop, which is a big data technology handling large amounts of data. Apache Spark, Amazon Redshift. They talk to data analysts, data scientists, business stakeholders to implement the infrastructure that stores this data. It's one of those roles where you get paid really well. You have data analysts who use statistical methods, perform exploratory analysis on data they collect. They help to identify trends and patterns in the data, communicate that effectively to the business stakeholders. To become a data analyst, one typically needs to have a strong foundation in statistics, do the statistical analysis, as well as proficiency with software tools, Excel, SQL, databases, and also, more importantly, visualization tools like Tableau. They're sort of like an entry-level role. If you know machine learning, you can be a data scientist, which is what we're going to discuss now. Data scientist is sort of a senior role, should have deeper knowledge of data analysis, knowledge of statistical, scientific methods to extract insights from structured or unstructured data. Data scientists help organizations drive business decisions and solve complex problems by analyzing data and developing predictive models. To become a data scientist, you usually need to have a strong foundation in computer science, mathematics, statistical analysis, know how to create machine learning models. They also use programming languages to create these models. You should know one or two programming languages to do so, Python or R. They also get paid very handsomely. If you have specialized skills such as deep learning and natural language processing, AI related fields, you get paid more. All right, those are the data roles. Now let's talk about cybersecurity roles. Here you have cybersecurity engineers, ethical hackers. Let's talk about cybersecurity engineers. These are the people who ensure that the computer systems are secure and also the network, that the infrastructure of a company is secure. They're up to date with the security threats. They have a strong understanding about how networks work. Also, they have an extensive knowledge of cybersecurity tools. They also have experience with risk assessment, vulnerability assessment, threat analysis, and are able to implement security solutions that address these threats. They know how to set up effective firewalls. They do have knowledge of intrusion detection systems. This is also, again, a senior kind of position, very highly paid position. Ethical hackers or penetration testers. They use their hacking abilities to pen test an organization's systems to see whether it is breakable and so revealing any security vulnerabilities. Their main focus is to try to break a software product. You usually need to know about one or more tools that performs these attacks. All right, let's talk about non-engineering roles. Just like developers and the engineering roles, there are people who contribute equally to the success of a software product. We have product manager. So what is a product manager? They do actually bridge the gap between the actual business vision. They communicate that vision effectively to the developers who are responsible for creating the product. They do also work with data to analyze data, identify trends, implement new features. You should be a good people's person. Some do have engineering background, but it is not necessary to become a product manager. You can take certifications as well, like Scrum product manager. Scrum is a methodology in software development. You can join as a junior product manager. So that's one non-engineering role if you want to go that route. So that's about it. Obviously, there are a lot more roles. Also, especially with the ChatGPT, artificial intelligence revolution, a lot of companies putting a lot of money into these technologies mean that more and more roles are opening up, not going down. People are scared that ChatGPT is going to replace the engineering roles, but because of that, a lot more engineering roles are also being created, at least for now. We'll see what the future holds, but we are entering into an era where the the style of working is actually completely changing. Our productivity is changing because of artificial intelligence, AI, integrated technologies. If you have found this video useful, be sure to check out this video here, and bye.